A lot going on inside the family. Amen. Sisters and brothers and mamas and daddies and cousins and aunties. There's a lot of turmoil going on inside the family. But one day Joseph had a dream, and he went to tell his brothers about this dream. He said, guess what, brethren? Last night I had a strange dream. He said, I dreamed that we were tying up bunches of grain out in the field when suddenly my bunch stood up. And your bunches gathered around and bowed to me. Ooh, Joseph making it rough. The brothers looked at each other in disgust. But Joseph continued. He said, then I had another dream. And I dreamed that the sun, the moon, and the stars bowed to me. So the brother's like, Joseph, who do you think you are? Can you imagine your little sibling, your little brother, your little sister talking about you're going to bow to them? They said, do you think that you are better than us? Do you think that we'll ever bow to you? This made the brothers dislike Joseph even more. And when Joseph told his fathers about this dream that he had, his father said, that was a strange dream, Joseph. It was strange. But he thought carefully about what Joseph had told him. A few days later, Joseph's father asked him to go and check on his brothers. Now go check on them. Go check on your brothers. They were in the field quite a distance away, and Joseph went to find them. But when the brothers saw Joseph in the distance, they made a plan to kill him. Now, can you imagine that? They planned to kill their baby brother. And we look at the news and see a lot of stuff that's going on now. We shake our heads in disgust, but it was going on even back then. But when Reuben now was the oldest brother, when he heard what the other brethren had planned to do, he said, let's not kill him. Let's just, now he got on Reuben's nerve too, but he said, let's just throw him in a hole out there in the field somewhere. He said this because he was secretly planning to come back and rescue Joseph when the other brothers had left. So when Joseph came to them, they took off his coat. They threw him in a hole. They threw their baby brother in a hole. A little while later, some people came by that were selling things in Egypt. And one of the brothers spoke up and said, why don't we sell? Now look, they've thrown him in a hole. Now they say, why don't we sell our brother to these people? It's their own flesh and blood. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes, you can get better results with people from the outside. Sometimes. This way, we won't ever have to see him again. And we don't have to kill him. So the other brothers liked this idea, so they sold their brother to these people that were going to Egypt. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for my good. I'm still here. Unfortunately, Reuben had been working and hadn't seen what happened. Now, this was the older brother. And when he returned to the pit, he noticed that Joseph was gone. He had been sold to an important man named Potiphar. Potiphar was an assistant to Pharaoh of Egypt. God got it all in control. They took Joseph's beautiful coat, they dipped it in animal blood, and took it back to their father. Now, I always say you can act a lie, you can act out a lie just as well as you can tell one. They took this coat with the blood on it, showed their father. And when Jacob saw this, he cried, and he thought that an animal had killed his son. They didn't tell him no different. And he cried for many days, so much that nobody could even comfort Jacob. Now, Joseph had started out, remember now, as a slave. But the Lord was with Joseph, and he helped him in everything that he did. And once we get to I'm just building it, but once we get to the end, we're going to see that Joseph went from the pit to the palace. And that's some of y'all testimonies today. You're relating to what I'm saying. So Potiphar made him his helper. He put him in charge of everything that he owned. Even in this situation, God was still with Joseph. God still had favor on Joseph. The problem came when Potiphar's wife, Miss Potiphar, saw this young man, this young thing. Yes, sir, he was fine. He was young. He was good looking. Miss Potiphar said, oh my God, I want him. That's what she said, Mama. That's what she said. She desired Joseph. But Joseph had integrity. Somebody say integrity. Somebody say integrity. Somebody say integrity. And in my words, integrity is simply that you do right even when nobody is looking. Oh my God. And he would not yield to Miss Potiphar. I don't know if Miss Potiphar was a cougar, but I'm sure she was a lot older. She was a lot older. She probably was an old cougar, you know, trying to get that young thing. Miss Potiphar became angry because Joseph wouldn't yield. He wouldn't yield. Miss Potiphar lied on Joseph, saying that he tried to rape her. See, like I'm saying, a lot of this stuff that's going on today, it was going on back then. Nothing is new under the sun. Joseph was there with her, and Joseph had to get out of there. You ever heard that song say, run, don't look back, run, don't look back, run, don't look back, run. Joseph had to run. He had to get out of Dodge. I guess he said to himself, Lord, I got to get out of here before something happens. I got to go. But when he left his coat. So Miss Potiphar had his coat